Hi, everyone.
Hey. Okay.
1, 2, 3. Hey.
No, what?
Are
We're
we gonna
supposed to
say the
say
same
hey,
thing?
same?
Let's say happy New Year. 1. Happy New Year from the Ives family. Hey, we just want to take a
Yes.
minute, and by a minute, we probably mean several minutes. We'll
Several-
try to keep it
there's
short.
probably several.
And just as we wrap up this year, move into a new year, just take a minute to kind of update you
Yes.
on where we're as a family and what's been going on over the course of this year, and look into the year ahead.
Yes, it's been a kind of a crazy year.
What?
Very unpredictable.
Hi. My name is Lily.
Every gathering, every church gathering, church service, kids in school, our home, neighborhood, it's all been different and somewhat difficult. The kids have had to learn remotely from home. We've never had to do that before.
I know some of you all are professionals at homeschooling. We aren't. And
No.
we were a part of the massive group of the population that suddenly became homeschool parents.
Yes.
And we had a learning curve, and the kids did too.
Yes.
There were some emotional outbursts for sure,
Yes,
and breakdowns, and
From us, and then maybe a little bit
the
from
kids
the kids.
did a little bit as well.
We had
Yeah,
some
mostly us.
technical difficulties and emotions, and hats off to all the teachers that really worked hard on helping these kids online.
sure.
But it's been a super big challenge for all of our kids, especially for Maya. You all know that we started the Sunrise program about 2 years ago, and that kind of got put on pause while we had all the kids at home.
Yeah.
And so that was a bit of a challenge for us.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a unique challenge for us. A lot of our challenges we face were very common with everyone.
Yes.
Right? That we all felt that our schedules, our lives got flipped upside down. And then if you work in ministry, and some of you do, then you know that all the ministry stuff got flipped upside
you
down.
had to
and
rethink
how do we
every
do
single
church?
thing.
How do we gather? How do we do classes and school and all kinds of things?
Yes.
A lot of decisions to make. But
It's
yeah,
been challenging.
Maya's part of the story is unique for us in that it did stop a lot of what we did. Our
Yes.
volunteers that were coming to run the Sunrise program,
could
they
no
all
longer
stopped in
come.
March, and then so we
Yeah.
haven't had them ever since then. And so a lot of things changed, and there's definitely been difficulties. So
Yes.
we're sure that all of you have faced some of that over the course of
Yes.
this year as well.
But there's been some positive things too. The fact that all of us could be together, quality time, staring eye to eye with each other, which we weren't doing as much because you have softball practice and worship practice and all the many things that we have to do. But we were able to sit with each other, talk with each other, have tough and good conversations about what's happening in our world, what's going on around us. And that was actually a really big blessing to us to have that time.
Yeah, I think that even as for the first couple of weeks we were quarantined pretty strictly, and then
Yes, just at
and
home.
as we continue to do that with the kids being at home the rest of the year and being really restricted in what we could
Yes.
do. But then I was working, but even in the midst of that, we continue to have so much close time together as a family. Yeah, like you're right. With the schedules were simplified outside of our normal life, outside of the normal work day and class day.
Having
Everything
meals
else was
together
simplified.
and-
Yeah, and I would say every single one of us in our family would say that one thing this year has been closeness as a family,
Yeah.
closer relationships, and we're really grateful for that. Especially, I think about our oldest daughter, Lily, being able to have a year like this when she's a sophomore in high school. We wouldn't have had a year like this otherwise, and so to have a really deepening of relationship this year with one another, and also honestly, all of us with God. I think we've had our peaks and valleys for sure. It hasn't been smooth sailing, but I think all of us this year, there's been also a growing relationship with God through this time, which has been a major blessing.
Absolutely.
And then, as far as Emmaus goes, when this all started, I'm a huge optimist. You might, those of you that know me pretty well,
Yes.
I'm an optimist. Everything's always
Absolutely.
going to be just fine. It's all
Yeah.
going to work out. I never would have assumed that in March that we would still be in December having to make a lot of decisions ministry-wise with Emmaus that involved COVID-19. I just wouldn't have expected it.
No.
And
Nobody
as an
expected it.
optimist, I thought we'll be fine by April, right? And
Right.
and that's not been the case. But as we walk through this year together with the staff, which we are blessed with an incredible team of missionaries that work with us at Emmaus, and
Yes.
I'm honored to serve and lead them. But as we walk through it, really felt like, look, Emmaus Ministries, as a fairly small nonprofit, could either die this year, kind of disappear, because there's a lot of financial turmoil and things going on.
Yes.
Or we could just kind of survive it somehow, or we could seek to discover what God had for us.
Rethink some things.
Yeah, and I think that third one is what we've experienced in 2020. I mean, it's incredible to realize that in the midst of a pandemic, that Emmaus has impacted more individual lives than any year in the history of the ministry. I think we've had hundreds of people either through seminars, our narrative series, which as of this fall became also available online, through our School of Biblical Studies, and through our fourth new program we launched called our Biblical Foundations course, where we did a study of the Pentateuch in the fall, and we'll do a study of the Gospels and Acts this spring. But through those hundreds of people, there was one guy that attended our most recent Foundations course, the new program, that we're just piloting and figuring it out. And I was sitting with him having a coffee, and he said to me, that he was in one of the last classes, and he said, I just had this moment where he said, I realized that my life is being changed right now. Like just a tangible moment of knowing,
Amen.
This is going to change my life.
Amen.
And it's been overwhelming this year to see students' lives be transformed, to see the staff just step up and work hard, and to see staff growing and changing, and to see just churches and new partnerships and relationships. And it's just been incredible. I don't know what you thought about with Emmaus this year. I mean,
I think the new programs and the way that Emmaus has been going, it's been incredible to see the reach of Emmaus and how far it can reach to help people, encourage people, and it's just a really cool thing to just watch and to be a part of.
I mean, honestly, and for all of you that have partnered with us financially and in prayer, I mean, we expected, when all this started, we expected our support would go down this year.
Absolutely.
So we tightened up the budget and prepped ourselves for that. And then, shockingly, by the grace of God, through the generosity of many people's hearts, we ended up not losing support. Neighbor's dog's barking a little bit. Not losing support, but actually we held and even incrementally increased our partnership over this last year, and we are deeply grateful for that. So thank you for investing in 2020 as we head into the new year. At Emmaus, honestly, the primary goal is to just strengthen as a staff, to strengthen the 4 programs that we're now running, to really refine those down and make them as excellent as we can be, including the online programs we have available now, to improve the quality of that and make that available. And then secondly, beyond just strengthening, is to spread as a ministry, to really seek to expand our network.
Reach as many people as possible.
Yeah, with the online availability and some of the programs we have now, we've really started to reach outside of Central Florida. So our hope is to, over the next year, really work on building out that network as the ministry. So family-wise, we have one major goal we want to share with you guys.
Our 2021 goal.
Yeah, so we hesitate even to include this in this video. So there's a GoFundMe thing set up where we have kind of a platform for this fundraising effort. But as LaToya and I, we've been praying about it over the last couple of years, and we really feel compelled to just trust God that we could buy a home over the next year.
Here in Florida.
Yeah,
we
here
feel
in
like
Florida.
God has called us here, and we really want to put down some roots and say, okay.
Yeah, when we came here, we really kept our bags packed and knew, hey, we might move at some point. And but it's become clearer and clearer that this is where God seems to have run our roots down and planted us as a family and as a ministry. And so that's our goal over the next year. And there's a video on, the link is here as well, for the GoFundMe page, just as a platform for the fundraiser. But our intention is to seek to raise the funds for a down payment to be able to get into a home. The last 9 years, or almost 10 now in ministry, or as missionaries, we've been super blessed that our support has given us the opportunity to pay our rent and utilities and to have our basic needs met. And that has been a tremendous gift.
Oh, it's been awesome.
But as Maya gets older and some of the things become more challenging with some of that, there's more of a need to have a place that we can set up as our own space, and even ministry-wise, as a home that we can really run ministry from. There's been a lot of challenges with house stuff and landlord stuff, and all, as you all know if you've rented before. And so we really, that's our goal over this year. So would you join us in praying as we trust the Lord to really help us to reach that goal, so we could get into a stable, our own home over this next year. So that's our prayer goal for this year. But you can check that out if you want to find out more about it and just be praying with us in that. And we're praying for you as we head into a new year, 2021. We don't know that it's going to be easier.
Who knows?
None of us know that. I know we want to think it will be. We don't know that 2021 will be easier. We don't know that it will be yeah, we don't know that it won't have challenges, but what we do know is God will continue to be faithful.
Yeah, we can trust him.
Yeah, and he was as faithful in 2020 as he was in 2019.
Amen.
And he will be again in 2021. And so we're leaning into that.
Absolutely.
We encourage you to join us in leaning into that. And let's just together kind of trust God and see how we can best care for one another. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, we love you all very much.
We love you guys.
And God
We
bless you.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
God bless you.
I run to the Father, I fall into grace. Done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I run to the Father again and again. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart found a surgeon, my soul found a friend. So I run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, oh, again and again and again and again. Oh, 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 again and again.
My own guitar.
Hey, good job, girls.
Has her own guitar.
Yeah, mine's at our own guitar.
Are we
All
gonna
right.
put it here?
Bye, everybody.
Bye. My ear is